All right, let's get back. Little water. Are we ready?
We are ready. Yeah.
Dave Delgado, pilot. We ready?
6294 star.
No.
6-2 what?
94 star. When everyone in town wants to cut it.
That's not funny. Like, I'm not laughing.
Okay. Hey, can let's share a few of our let's share a few of our takeaways.
Exactly.
I know you were so adamantly debriefed.
Luke, you get it.
Huh?
There's a
On the train to this river. Yep. Fun.
Exactly.
What's his name? Tony Fragella? What's the announcer's name?
Let's share a couple.
I apologize. What was the question?
You talk about the Miami Heat announcer who has a complete set from us. Yes, I don't know his name.
What's his name?
Couldn't tell you. It's not a pertinent.
Tony
Tony
Fiorentino.
Eric has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So, okay, we debrief. I love you, and has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Sorry.
Let's debrief. Some takeaways from first section. What did you like? What did you take away? Next level, first year. Let's facilitate a little something. Luke.
Just that Olean is kind of when most people get on track and get their routine some point. So this is our last checkpoint to do it before then.
I agree. It really is our last checkpoint. This is the last checkpoint before Edge period's over. Next level group. We got 1 month for next level for Edge. It's Kier.
Kind of like what Luke said, being able to get ahead of the game, and everyone when we go to Olean, everyone's going to be kind of having these light bulbs then. But if we have these light bulbs now, we start practicing and doing actually what we say we're going to do.
Yeah, and part of what's going to happen, Kirsten, or to Kirsten's point, is there's going to be this surge of confidence when you see all these people get committed there, and you go, oh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm already doing this. I'm ready. ABC, ABC, DEF, and they're just starting ABC right now. There's a. I'm not trying to trick confidence into you, but that's what you get this surge of confidence. That's if you're working hard now. Ree, and we'll go. I think. Julie, did you have your hand up earlier?
I did.
I'll come.
Like,
Okay. Ree.
Strong professional results. You have to be professional. That's something that sounds just like duh, obviously, but a lot of today has been about realizing that we are being professional.
Exactly. You want to make $1 million contracts in the NBA, NFL, MLB. There's certain things they do that other people don't. That makes them a professional. And it's most of it goes beyond, and it's not during the game time. By the way, you guys know that, right?
Yeah.
It's the off season. So, yes, sir.
So we all run different businesses, and one of our businesses is ourselves. And you need to focus on yourself before you get your other businesses right.
That's right. You can't pour from an empty cup. You guys know that? You can't pour from an empty cup. Or first years, not next level. First years. We talk about flying on an airplane, and the air masks, heaven forbid, have to drop because of change in air pressure. If you've flown enough, the stewardess instructs you who do they want to have their masks put on first. Yeah, they tell you put your mask on first. First years, why? You've flown a lot, Marcel. Why do you put why do they say put your mask first before assisting others?
Oh, take care of yourself.
Because if you pass out, what happens?
You can't help it.
Everyone's done. Or I said it not so nice earlier. If you die, no one else is going to live. So take care of you so you can help people. Okay. One more? Two more? No? Okay. Let's go here. I want to turn things over to Mr. Mike Abramowitz, who's going to talk about setting PRs. And Mike, quick question before I go into introducing you. Will it be taken away if I do a quick review of the PRs, or are you going to do that in your message? I didn't see that first part.
Whatever you.
Wow. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, so whatever you go over, I won't. So it's up to you.
Okay. I'll let you take. Let me do this first part. Let you take the majority. Okay. So in your notes, we'll get to our first Cutco technical lesson today, and that's how to be a gangster. No, just kidding. That's how to. May I? No, I'm sorry. How to be a gangster. I'll let you know that I ended my SLC talk with a slide that stayed up and it said, "Mom, it just does. I can't explain it. It feels so good to be a gangster."
Taxation or stuff.
Say again.
It's a taxation or stuff.
So let's talk about, this is a review from Karina's message. and then Luke was part 2 of the message. So we're talking about the most important program to move the business, personal recruits. Who can define, if you're a business consultant, define what a personal recruit is for Vector Marketing Corporation, first years. So first years, what does that mean to be, what is a personal recruit? Give me a first year. Rachel, what's a personal recruit?
Someone you recruit to work for us.
Yeah, someone who's recommended to work, okay? Now we have multiple avenues. We'll do first years, and the next level you can come save the day. What are the different ways we can create personal recruits? Different ways to get the source. Mr. Plus, give me one.
Triple threat.
Right, so we have triple threat. And when does that happen, Miss Josie? When does triple threat happen the first time? Think about when you were a rep. Give me one time it happened. In training. What part of training? You're right. You remember?
The advanced training.
We got sandwiches.
No.
You didn't say 2, right?
It's a pretty good memory. Okay, ready? It happens technically at advanced training after you finish your first weekend. So I would take notes. If this isn't right off the top, I would take notes until it sticks in your head. This happens at advanced training 1, and I put an arrow because it keeps going. Luke is part of a national task force that's going to help systemize this across the country. It's that big of a program, and it came from our Florida United team, which is really great. And what this is going to do is there is going to be a systematic way where every Monday in advanced training, every Tuesday from PDI, and every Wednesday at the team meeting phone jam, and anytime you need more recruits, there'll be different ways to automate. We're testing things like, you name a few more things again we're doing.
Just have a different piece of content.
Different content that's professional that you can take a picture of.
Probably like weekly content.
Yeah, a Snapchat swipe up to Google Photo, like different ways to do it. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Palazzo. Let's go. Give me a second way, first years. Miss Mila, give me a second way you can get PRs.
Facebook.
Okay, very good. That was Luke's talk last time, and I won't go into that. But essentially, if you're a district manager, if you have staff, who are the most important people to kick off your Facebook program? If you're a district manager. Oh, your mouthful. I'm sorry, my bad. Never calling someone with their mouth. That's my bad. That's my bad. Bro, I'm sorry, bro. Rachel, that shit. Facebook, if you're a district manager, why is it really important? Who are the most important people to kicking off your Facebook program? If you're a district manager, think about it. Who's got the best networks? Take a wild guess.
What? Like your own reps? Is that a stupid answer?
No, it's not a stupid answer. Who's even better than them? That answer is correct. Who's even more important to getting good people through Facebook on your team? So Rachel got the first part right.
Your DM.
If you're a district manager, what do you have?
Your assistant?
System managers. And why are they so important? Because their networks help start the summer. So for this in the pilot for Fort Lauderdale, it was Kirsten and Grant's Facebook members. Good. Give me a third way. Can we get PR names to set? Is that
Active ad.
Yep, campus. Okay, there's 2 more. Next level, help me out here. You guys know this better. Day 3 or now.
Day 2.
Day 2. Ah. Day 2, I'll call it Day 2 PR app. Okay, what does that mean? Day 2 PR app. Who can tell me what does that mean? Day 3 for you, first year's PR app.
Isn't the Vector app where you send all their contacts?
At the end of the training on the 3rd day for you guys, you send all your friends and contacts for prizes like sandwiches from Los Patas.
Or steak knife.
Or steak knife. Or double credit for Jamaica and all those. Okay, that's that. Next level, what's the most important one? Top 10 list. Who can define this? If you are a first year, want to give it a shot. Any first years want to give this a shot? What does the top 10 list mean? Joseph. That's different, but don't miss that one. That's 6. Post interview, good. Good, Joseph. Top 10, who can define this next level? Oh, Eric.
During training, you put like your top 10 like friends you think would either be good
When?
job or it's during training.
You know when specifically? That's right. You are right.
It wasn't day 1.
Good memory.
It was right after the phone app, right?
Exactly what it is. Right? So it's this. And then they said, hey, by the way, before you start one, who are the best 10 people that you think that would either be really good at the job or really needs a job? And maybe you didn't even write them down. Think about this philosophically. If I'm a college student, high school graduate, and I'm about to submit, and I submit 150 names, which is, that'll be our average this summer, 125 to 150. I submit 150. And then Luke says, hey, by the way, let me give you a sheet. Now I want you to write down all these people on Star, or we on Star, right? How does that work? They do. Okay. Write down of the people that you submitted, or anyone, even if you didn't submit them, write down the 10 people you think would kick butt at the job the most or really needs a job. Think about this. Let's say I'm not involved in athletics. Let's say I'm not super chatty and social. But I do know the captain of the football team who I didn't put on the app. Why?
It says your name.
Yeah, I don't want the captain of the football team to think, but I have his number. But do I think he'd be really good? Yeah, I'll put him down. We tracked it. We've been tracking it. It's between 40 and 60% of the people that get written down didn't get submitted on the app. So when you say, okay, now after you just give me your contacts, essentially, who are 10 people that maybe you didn't write them down that would do really well, or you feel like need a job? And we get some really quality people. In fact, some of you are on that top. Some of you are from that list here, not here. Andrew, anyone here from this list? Yeah, can you tell at the top? You would be able to tell.
Was Eric on a list?
No,
I got Eddie. I think Marcel was from Carlos though.
Yeah, Marcel was.
Yeah, Marcel,
Kind of was.
your name probably may or might not have been put on the app. Did you get a text message from us? Yeah, but you also got priority. Okay. Anyone else here? Any other PRs? Next level. Any other PRs? Rep driven. 7. Go out of order. Rep driven. Who can define first year? What's a rep driven PR? Before I turn things over to Mike, what's a rep driven PR? Okay, ready? At advanced, this is from Karina's message. And I know you heard it once already, and I expect you to memorize it. I do expect you all to know this before quarter 3. Memorized in your heart. It's so easy. It's like the closing. Triple threat happens at the beginning of advanced training before you go into instruction. Hey, everybody, take a picture, post this on triple threat, and we'll respond to them later. Rep driven happens at the end of advanced training. This is when we call their top 10 list who didn't respond to the text, and then we call and say, Rachel, who are we going to call next? Mila? Okay, we'll call her. Green, green. And Mila goes, bro!
So active.
And then Rachel will say what? Hey, I'm at my job. Yo, bro, what's up? I'm at my job right now. Can you talk to my manager real quick? Yeah, sure, broski. That's right. Mila? Okay. Hi, is this Mila? Hi, Mila. And then we take care of it from there. It's all in the script. Okay, any questions? Districts, am I miss anything? That's
Canvas, Blackboard emails.
yeah, I would put everything, you're right. I would put it all under Canvas. Blackboard emails, Moodle is another program they have, posters, all that. Canvas, the new one?
That's good.
Okay.
Rep driven is on you, right?
Alley-oop, same thing. Alley-oop is where the PRs are driven by the rep. So it's called rep driven. You're right.
Put a CP on the campus.
I put that in Canvas. Those are science, essentially. Cool. So this is what we've covered. Karina went through the general overview here. If I were a manager looking to capitalize on my training, before quarter 3, before the end of the year, I would make sure I would watch the first prep a couple times, Karina's message on explaining what all these are, so you're not in the dark. When you get back from winter break, you want to know what all 7 of these are. Call it the Super 7 for PRs. Okay. Luke took care of this last prep. So if you're looking for information on how to really capitalize on Facebook, we're going to revisit this in Olean, and then we're going to revisit it again before quarter 3 starts. Mike is going to talk about essentially how do you as the manager call the best people. What Mike's really talking about here is top 10 list and a little bit triple threat rep driven. Okay, he's going to reference, you can put in your notes fire number. I want to write down fire number. Okay, fire number is the Florida United way and term for PRs that are set by the manager. I'll say it again. Fire number, and to be accurate, emoji fire, the flame. How did we get to that? Probably something, we were having a conference call and we just coined the term. Fire number, because the thing that will move your business the most, if your office is tanking, if your recruiting is dipping, if your team is getting too small, if your sales are not good because your reps, you didn't train them the right way, you don't have good reps, it's your fault. We take responsibility. Get a new team. What's the fastest way you can get a better and bigger and new team? You, as the manager, set the PRs yourself. Because how are most of the PRs set? You said it earlier. How do most PRs get set? We don't even do anything. Where do we send it? Online. To the texting center in Michigan, to be accurate, run by former former Florida United DRM. That's just me. Okay, so that's run. That's automated. Here, and Mike's going to dive into this. This top 10 slice doesn't go to the app. We keep this, and this is what we use to set up our fire number. We also use triple threat, and we use rep driven. These are the big three that we'll use to set up fire number. Mike's going to talk about this for a couple of reasons. Number one, Mike was the best in the company. That's why he spoke at the national conference a few weeks ago. He ripped his talk, by the way. I hope you got a chance to see the link. You should watch it. He had the company in awe with his public speaking skills. He was speaking about it because no one in the company set more as a manager individually than Mike Abramowitz. What's really cool is that causes a shift in the business for two main reasons. Who can tell me first years why when you set the PRs up yourself, knowing who we're calling, why does it move the business so much? Kirsten.
Well, first you're able to replicate your talk about.
Okay, so these top 10 lists, you're probably prioritizing the best people in your team, so you're replicating. Give me another reason, even next level. Why is fire number when the manager does it, not the app? Big deal.
You have a much higher show than anyone else.
Yeah, you'll get a better show than texting. But then you don't have time to call a lot of people, so you're prioritizing who? Top 10, okay? Third reason. Well, it's indirectly reason. We can control this. There's no limitation. We can do this anytime we need more recruits, okay? If you look up here, and ironically enough, it's on the board. I'll show this. Can someone from Next Level forward the picture that's on our group to the TLA page? So if you look here, okay, let me make sure the microphone is not on. This one. You notice this is a pretty common office schedule. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't overthink it. Everything in red is where the manager is going to set PRs themselves, aka fire number. They'll set about 10 on Sunday. They'll set 5 during advanced training. They'll set 5 in the evening. They'll set 5 in the morning, Tuesday, 5 in the evening. And if you look, it yields about 30 to 40 PR set by the manager. That yields about 2 to 4 new people on the team every week, but 2 to 4 of the best people from our best people already. That's why fire number is so important. So we'll get into this. Mike's going to start to cover this, but I want to reference Mike's summer. Mike has had a string of pretty consistently, I would say consistent summers around the same number, a lower number. And all of a sudden, Mike Abramowitz in Clearwater just explodes and has the biggest summer in his career, but probably up there with the biggest new business summers in most people's careers. And there are multiple things behind it. I think number one, Mike made some decisions personally to get really focused. Mike had extensive planning. I could go on and on and on about Mike's development personally in business. But from a system standpoint, I can't say that there's one program in Cutco and running an office that moved the Clearwater business more than what Mike did here with fire number. So, Mr. Mike Abramowitz, do you have any parting shots as I bring you up and before you become a married man? Because the next prep, you will be a married man giving a message at the prep. How do you feel about that?
I think it's going to feel the same.
Spoken like Mike Abramowitz. I like it. Mr. Mike, I'm going to put you on speaker view, and you are now.
All right. Now here's the challenge is my when I put my CAD like I change it up, I change the audio and stuff. It like went crazy. So I'll try it again. So.
Oh, it's crazy. What you did originally was fine.
So right here, I can talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Let me put. How do I put you on the big screen? Pin video on.
Yeah, because it's from 2 different devices. That's why I do speaker view. Is that good?
Oh yeah. You know how good it is. Look at your face.
Oh my goodness, that does look beautiful.
Yeah, handsome.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect.
Okay, so whatever you're talking about, I will dictate on the board here as well.
Sounds perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this. I will tell you a story.
Oh.
And it's a really classic story. You may have heard of this before, but a guy every single Thanksgiving, every holiday, every event, he saw his wife cut the ends off of a ham before she cooked it. And one day he was curious and he said, babe, why do you cut the ends off the ham before you cook it? And she said, well, that's because my mother always did it. So he said, why? She said, well, you have to ask her. So he called up her mom and he said, hey mom, I had a question for you, kind of random, but your daughter, my wife, always cuts the ends off of her ham before she cooks it. Why? I said, well, that's the way my mother always did it. So he had to get to the end of this. So he calls his wife's grandma, calls the mom's mom, and says, I have to ask you. Your daughter and your granddaughter cut the ends off the ham before they cook it. And they said they learned it from you. Why? She says, because I had a small pan. So the whole reason why I start with this is, why do we do the things that we do? So why do we do the things we do? It doesn't need to be because I told you so. I don't want this message to be one of the messages or one of the topics, one of the things that kind of go into your vector pile of like, they're just telling me to do that, so therefore I will. My goal and objective of this message is to help you think independently, because that's what happened with me when I left a year ago from the conference that I went to, now spoke at. I left that conference with understanding a why. Not because they told me to do it because I was supposed to do it, but it intrinsically motivated and created a shift of that makes sense. I learned from two people. Number one, Drew Frank, the #1 manager of all time. He personally sits at his house and sets up his own rep-driven top slice PRs. #1 manager. And then this no-name guy I never heard of was also doing the same thing last year. And Drew, we obviously know, was killing it. I mean, South Denver, they did $3.7 million last year. But then you have this guy, Evan Robinson, never heard of him, brand new rookie district manager, personally set up enough people to get 96 applicants to walk through his office last summer as the district manager. 96 that he personally set up for interviews. And his office did over $400,000 in new business sales for the summer. We were doing $250 a year in new business. And then I take that one little thing, that one thing, and we did over $450,000 new business this summer. So if I was to say why do I want to do this? I want to give you a couple of things here. There's really two whys. Why does it work? So I want you to write that down. Why does this work? And why do it? Those are the two whys I want to talk about, and then I'll talk about the hows. So why does it work? It works in the same reasons why Cutco is sold the way it's sold. Why don't we just put Cutco on the shelf of a store and just wait for people to walk by it? For the same reasons, why do we don't want to just put an ad on Craigslist and just wait for people to apply? Why does it work? Why do we sell Cutco? Why do we actively make a phone call, to actively set up an appointment, to actively show enthusiasm for our product line, and then confidently ask at the end of a presentation on whether or not they want to buy? Why do we do that approach? Because our product needs to be explained, presented, and the customer needs to be enrolled. And the reason why they need to be enrolled is because they're not actively seeking our product. At least they're not consciously actively seeking our product or service. That's why we proactively sell Cutco the way we do. When it comes to recruiting, sales is sales. It's the same thing. We are proactively targeting our best people that are not necessarily looking for us. So what we offer is just like Cutco. It needs to be explained, because if not, it sounds weird. We sell knives in people's home. We bring rope and leather over their house. Sometimes the dad's not there. Sit down with just the mom, rope, leather, knives. Sounds weird. But when we explain what we actually offer, it takes an opportunity for us to enroll them. So why does it work? The same reason why Cutco works. Why do we do it as managers? Why is it important? Why do we do this? Well, we all know that we receive the right opportunity. We're trying to explain and demonstrate not Cutco knives, but what I call the triple growth experience: personal, professional, financial growth. Personal, professional, financial growth. That needs to be explained. We want to offer that to people, and when they hear it and they see it and they experience it, they're going to want the exact same thing. Why else do we also set up PRs? Because it's simple. It's simple to do, meaning we are capable of doing it. Why else do we do it? It's easy to replicate. For all of you that are listening right now, you either want to be an assistant manager, branch manager, or district manager. So the goal is for you to replace yourself. In my organization this past summer, I wanted to create 4 new assistant managers who started this summer. How do we do that? Through this process. And then I was able to teach this to those individuals, and they can replicate it because it's that simple. So it's simple to replicate and scale and grow your business. And last but not least is why? Is because it only takes one and it spreads really, really fast. Think about with Cutco. You get that one customer that drops $2,000 and she gives you 30 recommendations and texts them all.
Just do the job.
That's all it takes. Your business can grow, boom, rapidly. And that's what happened in our business this summer. If you, I'll show you my screen real quick if you can see. So we had Nihil, and I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but either way.
Hey, have someone take a picture and post it.
So that's what I'll do. I'll take a picture of it. I'll post it on the group. And this right here. Here, you got a light bulb. I got a light bulb. So just so you guys can see this. All right. So we had one of our TLA candidates in the spring, mass messaging. Sending out the messages, he got one. That one kid was Nihil. Nihil Pansteria. He went out around high school, good school, Shorecrest kid, plays baseball. And he went out and had a solid fast start, doing a good job. And then he recommended a couple of people. He actually recommended like 60. One of which was Will Lovelace. Now, Will, I interviewed him. I did this 5-star process I'm going to teach you here in just a moment. And from Will, I did the same thing with him. I said, hey, like how you got that message and that text from me and from Nihil and that exchange? And he's like, yeah. I was like, why don't you do that for a couple of your friends? Pay it forward. Are you enjoying the experience? Yeah. Cool, let's pay it forward. Well, then he had Kobe, Zach, Oren, and Jesse. He had 4 of his friends start selling Cutco this summer. So they were on the receiving end of the exact same process that Will was. So I said, cool. Are you cool with paying it forward? Now, some of those were dead ends. Kobe and Zach kind of were dead ends. But Oren led to Ella, and Ella led to Matt, and Ella and Matt are currently still active in my organization. Zach is a branch manager candidate. And then we have Jesse, who then took it and scaled it and spread it out more. And then he created more people. And then they created more, but it only took one. It's super simple. And it's super simple. Why do I know this works? Is because I did that for my next book I'm launching. Some of you guys know I have a few books. This is my next one. And every story, I have somebody, I think it was Tyler that asked me, are there any Cutco people in this book? I said no, because it's titled Stories of Strong Independent Single Moms. So I don't have any Cutco people in this book. But how I got every story for this book was through this mass message Facebook concept of enrolling people to this book. I was waking up every morning and sending 50 Facebook messages to groups of moms. I joined all these moms groups and these single parent groups, and I just would direct message and mass message each of those individuals with a template saying, I'm looking to collect stories for a book, and I'd like to make you a best-selling author. Do you know anyone who might have a good story to tell? And now, a year later, I'm launching this book this year. I share this because the concepts are so simple. So hopefully,
I'm gonna stop there. That's badass. Okay, and this is one of those. You may not be with Cutco past Cutco through college, and that's great. When you do big and great things, you can blame us for part of your success. And that's just an example of You're doing things, and I know, so like Jeff, you're always trying to make it a Cutco lesson, because it always is. Okay? You're learning things that you can use to scale real businesses that are not just knife businesses. Okay? So there's a real when we teach you how to be good with your money, when you leave Cutco, you don't go, but I'm just going to stop that, whole smart with my money thing. It continues to go. So great stuff, Mike. Thanks. I wish I would have stopped you during SLC, but that doesn't happen so well. Doesn't work.
So just to kind of come up for air before I teach the hows, because the hows are so simple. The hows are really simple. Just to kind of come up for air real fast. What I'm getting across to you guys is why do we set up PRs? Is number one is because it works. It's extremely effective. Number two is easy to replicate to teach to other people. Number three, it's easy to scale and it spreads extremely fast when it's done the right way from the beginning. So how do we set them up? So there's really 3 ingredients to set them up. How many ingredients? 3! So there's only 3 ingredients to set these up. It's really simple. The first ingredient is you need lists to call. You need names to call. The second ingredient is you need to call them. And the third ingredient, you need to recruit them. Get the names to call them, and then recruit them. Now, the names, well, Mr. Gamboa has already done that for you guys. In the PR Bible, which is in the handouts that you guys have, on page, you could just take this in your notes and then look at them later, but there's Facebook messaging, which is a mass messaging to like everybody on your Facebook. That's going to be pages 4 through 8 in the PR Bible. But then there's Facebook messaging directly to people that you are connected to. So this would be like when Trey was sending a message to his people that he knew. That's page 54 in the PR Bible. So there's 2 different messages: mass messaging, and then there's messaging directly to people you know you want to recruit as a friend.
Okay, Mike, can I pause for a second? Just so you know, I'll be leaving in 2 weeks for a DVM meeting. And we're going to be updating the PR Bible because it's really outdated now. At this point, It's really outdated. So for now, as you're referencing, Mike is accurate, Mike is correct, but that will change. For those of you that don't like change, I'm telling you it's going to change now. So get ready.
So then for because it's going to change, I'll breeze through this just so you have the page numbers in case you want to look at it. The PC to enroll. Like the Will Lovelace on how I said, hey, I'll give you $100 if you get me one of your friends. I'll give you $50 if you get me one of your friends. That convo, that's going to be on page 51 and 52 if you want to document that. Rep-driven conversation that Mr. Gamboa just referenced, pages 43 to 47. The training class top 10 list, that's going to be page 14 and 15. Interview PRs is going to be pages 9 through 11. So you could at least document where we get these names from. And that's already in that for you. Now, how do we set them up? You have the script. You can read a script. I have a script for my organization that I created, and the way I created it was out of innovation and I don't know. I just was tired of saying the same thing over and over again, so I just wanted to make it new. It's not better. It's just what fit my personality. So I would use whatever the division's using. I'm not saying, but I want to give you the objectives of what you want to get accomplished and making sure that you can feel confident with what you're saying. So I know Luke already went over how to call PRs already, but I want to help you with a couple of tips. Tip number 1, overview, confidence. You want to sound like the authority. Sound like the authority. I went and watched Jordan Belfort. Does anybody know who Jordan Belfort is? Okay, so he's the Wolf on Wall Street. So I watched him live. He came to Clearwater, Ruth Eckerd Hall. And a fun fact about Jordan Belfort, he cannot make another dollar until he pays back every single dollar that his company stole. So he has to do all these speaking gigs and sell all these books and all these products. He can't make a dollar until everyone that he essentially stole the money from or scammed out of the money gets paid back. So he told us he has to work for like 25 years without a paycheck or something like that. But he's like, I already made tons of money. I already lived a life. And it's like, it's totally fine. Yeah, I love service. So it was really cool. But one of the things he said is there's 23 different inflections and tones of your voice. And if you just master 10 of them, he's like, that's all I taught my guys is how to master 10 inflections: urgency, excitement, secrecy, authority, and he's like listed off 10 of the different tones, but the one that really matters most here is authority. Using an authoritative tone when you're on the phone with them, making them feel like you're above them, but not in a way that makes them feel small, but making you feel like you're the authority. So confidence is key. I'll give you an example of what that sounds like in a moment. The other thing is quick rapport. You want to establish a connection, but you want to establish one fast. What I like to do is whatever they tell me, I use that as the reason on why I'm actually speaking to them. So it's like, oh, what school are you going to? I go to Shorecrest. Oh, okay, cool. What are your plans for college next year? Oh, I want to go to medical school. I want to be a doctor. It's like, got it. Do you want to own your own practice one day? Is that the goal? Yes. That's probably why I'm talking to you right now. It's because this is the #1 student work program for students to learn how to run a business and be an entrepreneur. So it's probably why your friend recommended you.
Yeah, give 2 more examples. That's great. Mike, let's role play. I'll be the applicant.
Cool. So Jeff, how do you know Will?
That's my guy. That's my dude. We grew up together in the same neighborhood, and we've just been friends ever since.
Cool. Do you have any plans for school? I know Will in New York this fall. What are you up to?
I'm actually doing an internship with a financial advising group because my dad's a financial advisor, and that's really what I want to do. Get into that group. Yeah, it's gonna be in New York, Wall Street, but just only for 2 weeks.
Love that. Is that the dream job? Like 20 years from now, do you want to be a financial advisor?
Yeah, I do. My dad does it really well. I want to take over his book of business, and it's going to stay in the family. I'm pretty excited.
So you want to own a business? That makes total sense. That's probably why I'm on the phone with you right now, is because we have the #1 student work program to teach entrepreneurs and business owners on how to do it at a young age, which is pretty cool. So,
okay, let's do another one.
Cool. So how do you know Will?
We play football together.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I'm his
position
slot receiver. I'm short and shifty.
Oh yeah, so slot receiver, right? I love that. Were you one of the co-captains with Will?
Yeah, I wasn't that good. You see what had happened was I hurt my leg, and I didn't get recruited. I was a D1 prospect, 5-star, but at this, yeah, but I am going to be playing D3.
Got it. So you're going to be college athlete.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably why I'm on the phone with you right now, is because it takes a lot of hard work to be a great player in this team and our organization, and you probably will probably do a really good job. So that's probably why I'm talking to you right now. It's because you're a hard worker.
That is recruiting mastery right there. Okay, we do that in our group interview. We do that in our one-on-one. You can do anything. How do you know, Kier? How do you know Josie? Oh, you guys are in the sorority together. Oh, you loving it? You having fun? Yeah, that's probably why we're giving you a call. It's because Rhiannon recommended you, and here we have a really big team, family atmosphere. We have a lot of philanthropy as well. In fact, we have programs where we give back, very much like your sorority. So that's probably why I'm talking to you. Like what we're doing. That's called catering. That's called catering value. That's called catering value. Sorry, it's called catering value. Okay, and that's not just here. You should do that, by the way, with your customers. Okay, and it's not manipulation if it's true and you're providing value. So that's the key part. You can't just, oh yeah, oh you want to be a millionaire? Yeah, that's probably why we're talking to you, because we have millionaires every summer. That's a lie. So it's got to be genuine. It's got to be value. It's got to be ethical. But what we're doing is we're catering the value. Okay. Thank you, sir. Continue. It's great. You're good.
Excellent. You're good. So I like that quick connection with the applicant. So, and you guys, as you're doing it, you'll get more comfortable with it for sure. And it might be worth an idea to make a list of what you're looking for. So I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for hard workers. I'm looking for those that are interested in business. I look for good doers, like philanthropists, like Jeff was just saying. I look for those that are really active in the community. I look for those that are trustworthy. Those are people that are very busy, very active. I like those types of kids. So because people that are involved. These are a couple of examples as you guys write that list down. So that way you use those in your approach. So it's like, oh, you're in a sorority? Cool. Have you ever done any volunteer work with the sorority? You have? Oh, that's probably why I'm talking to you. So I like asking that second or third question, boom, connect, and use that as leverage. The next one is low key. You want to build value in the opportunity. In a low key way, you want to build value in the opportunity. What do I mean by building value in the opportunity in a low key way? It sounds something like this. So I only have a minute or two right now, but we are the number one student work program in the country. We work with a lot of students that are hard workers. They have positive attitudes, and they really love the flexible schedule that we offer to them. It's a young, positive, professional work environment, and we offer some scholarships and some internships. We do have a guaranteed pay, but our overachievers and top performers earn more. That's what I mean by building value, but in a low-key way. What is opposite? High excitement and hype versus low-key. Oh, Johnny Rep, you're gonna love it here. You'll love working here because we have a team environment. We're selling a lot. We have this $14.50 pay. It is awesome. You'll love it. You'll do so well here.
Sorry.
That's that hype. So I like more of a low-key type of approach because I'm the authority and I'm recruiting them. I don't want them to think we're level, but I do want them to feel special, but not in a way of like we're in a position of need. So that's a thought. And the last point that I want to give you on the approach is I want to see if it's a good fit for both of us. I like that mindset of, hey, I'm just giving you a call because I wanted to see if it could be a good fit for both of us. If you could be a good fit for us, if we could be a good fit for you, and then we can kind of go from there and we can make some decisions. If it is a good fit, we'll set you up for some training. If it's not a good fit, no big deal. At least we got a chance to connect with one another, and maybe you could recommend one of your other friends. Is that cool? Would you be down to sit down and chat for maybe a half hour and just go over some of the details?
Yeah.
So like low key, see if it's a good fit for both of us. See if it could be a win-win. So the fourth approach I just want to emphasize was having confidence and sounding like the authority, having quick rapport where you can connect with them, and being low-key in a way to build value, and being low-key in a way to see if it's a good fit for both of us, just to get a chance to meet one of us. Make it easy for them to agree to the appointment, essentially is what I mean by that. Make it easy for them to say, all right, I'll meet you. I'll check it out. Make it easy for them to say yes to that which is what we do with Cutco appointments as well. So it's pretty simple. The last point on setting up the PRs before I transition into the 5-star actual script is the 3-way text message was really helpful to help get the rep involved in setting up their friends and transitioning their friends into the interview process. So one of the things that I would do is I would then text Will. I would say, hey, Will, I'm about to create a 3-way group. Can you copy and paste this as soon as I create that 3-way group? And then that follow-up message would be like, so I'll send the directions. I'll say, hey, good luck, Johnny Rep. Looking forward to see you. Here's the directions. Dress nice. I'll see you at this time. And then Will then copy and paste that message, which says, good luck. Hope things work out. I'd love to get a chance to work with you. Mike's awesome, by the way. Something like that. So just having the rep involved in that 3-way text exchange, I found helped a little bit too after getting the rep set up, the PR set up for an interview. Questions, comments, thoughts before I transition into actually recruiting them in the office.
Next level group, since you've done this more than the first year, so we're kind of observing this for the first time. The level of honest and the level of light bulb carpal tunnel syndrome right now is different from next level because you've done this. Versus first years, it just makes sense. Next level, what's the feedback? What would you like the first years to hear on this, or what is your takeaway? Mind blown as a second, third, fourth, fifth year. I'm blown away, and I've been here a long time. Delila, you can't stop raising your hand. Go ahead.
That was just like the part where he says that's exactly why I'm talking to you, the way he builds value in it.
So the catering of value. Good. Were you shook for a little bit? She was shook, Mike. Shook, shaking. Shook. What else? Other next level feedback. We'll go Andrew and then Rhiannon.
I mean, I just like what you said earlier. It's catering value 101, breaking it down to whatever they talk about, whatever they're passionate about, and showing them how they can achieve that, through working there very, very quickly.
Yeah, there's a great document which I'll send out closer to the summer. It's from Drew Frank. It's why we recruit blank, and it's got athletes and has a whole thing on why we like athletes. Engineers, why we like engineers. Fraternity, sorority, if whatever they say, it's a genuine way to say, oh, well, that's why we like those types of people. Kirsten.
I kind of want to do that from watching Luke's post screenings over the summer, like beginning of summer, kind of like altering the way you, and kind of like making sure they understand that they are wanted here, but also at the same time knowing that you can say is to make sure it's a fit for the both of us.
Yeah, that's my favorite almost pull away, which is, and I think you're going to say what I think you're going to say in regards to. Say what you're going to say first, and then I have a follow up. Because when you do that, if it's a fit for both of us, you're not just giving them the job. Go ahead.
I was going to go back to what I was saying earlier, and what Kirsten just mentioned. This is just like a side tangent. This is why it's really good to make sure that you are a well-versed person in many different things, and even if you're not, you at least understand and know about many things so that you can relate. And it's a lot easier to build rapport with people when like they can talk about something that maybe you don't care about at all, but you at least know that. That's why, for instance, some of y'all know like nothing about sports. I don't really watch sports, but I make sure I at least know generally about sports and I can connect with people. Half the time, I don't even know much about like a certain sport. I'm like, oh yeah, what position you play? I have no idea what it means. But you know, at least I ask the right questions and stuff like that too. Okay, I'm giving you an example, but it doesn't matter whatever it is, regardless whether it's sports, volunteering, whether it's anything educationally. Like if you're a medical, if you're like a science major, STEM major, make sure you understand things about like business, so you can ask the right questions. If you're the opposite side, make sure you know some stuff about like when you're like a business major and you can talk pre-med. Like people appreciate that. So it just goes back to that again, like just recruiting 101. These are things that are really helpful for number one, connecting with people in interviews. But if you can do it really quickly in 20 seconds on a phone call, it helps even more.
Yeah, and I also think, I had lunch with Andrew. We were talking about the multi-level marketing field. Like sometimes Cutco offices or a company has a reputation for, which is not true. And how many times have you heard? I even heard on one of my plane trips last week. Oh, yeah, that's like a pyramid scheme, right? Did you even know what a pyramid? He is ignorant. He does not know. Can't feel bad for him. I feel bad. But those companies, yeah, so what do you think? I think that they end their interviews with, so what do you think? You down? That's how a lot of those interviews go at Starbucks, and if you've been recruited for multi-level, which I have, versus an interview, go figure. A real interview, which is what happens when you say, oh, why don't you come on in, and Rachel, why don't you come on, and we can see if it's a bit fit for both of us. If we fit you, if you fit us, we'll see in the interview. Anyone else? We'll do.
One of the biggest things that you just mentioned on and that Rhiannon kind of helped me out when I moved to Tampa and I started calling PRs again was like using a authoritative tone, not coming as like you're giving them the opportunity to come in for an interview, not coming in as like thank you. Like say thank you.
And to echo that is don't thank them. Thank you for taking my call today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Rhiannon was like, say no problem. Like it's like no problem. I'm giving you an opportunity.
Yeah. Don't thank people for the job you're about to offer them. Wait a minute. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Bree, or end with you because you had your hand up earlier.
I like that when I said I want to see if we can fit.
Okay. So create an interview feel if it's a fit for both of us. Okay. Thanks, Mike. You're up. Back up.
All right. So just to continue this process, there's only 3 things. How many things? 3. Those 3 things. 3 things. Number 1, get the lists. Number 2, call them. And number 3 is recruit them. So as far as recruiting them goes, when they do come into the interview, you do meet with them. There's only a couple of things that I would say are really critical in this recruiting process of getting them there. I would say number 1, when you're building rapport and you're making a connection with them, I think watching Luke do this, you can watch Brian Perlman do this on these videos. They're just masterful. They're awesome. They're really good. A couple things I like to make sure I try to do is find other people that they know who also work here outside of just that friend. Or even if they don't know those people, but they might be connected to that association. Oh, you play soccer? Cool. Did you ever play against and list off like another 3 or 4 or 5 soccer players that are on your team, even though they might not know them, they're like, oh, what are they thinking? Other soccer players, meaning other people like me, work there. So during rapport, I like to kind of talk about other people that are like them that also work here. Maybe they know them, maybe they don't, but they're thinking to themselves, wow, this is a pretty cool place to work. And this manager also has an active interest in his people. So there's a double whammy there. I want to make sure you guys don't miss that, is that when you talk about other people in a positive light, the person you're actually talking to is respecting you for talking about those other people in a positive light. They're like, wow, I'm not used to that. My boss at my other job always badmouths people when they're not around. This manager's talking good about his people. That's a change of pace.
Mike, can I interrupt for a second?
Yes, sir.
Here's another high level of recruiting. He had mentioned the thought of mentioning other soccer players. One more time, why? To social proof, to show that what? Other people, period, or specifically soccer players work here. Have a running list. And I used to do this back in the day when we didn't have a lot of computer work. Mike, you can appreciate this. When I was a recruiter, I had my my interview desk, and I would pull. As I was meeting with, so Rachel, where do you go to school? You school. Oh, do you know? And if I didn't, I would open up my drawer, and I had to print it out. You school, and all the people that worked with us that did fairly well had a good attitude. And it wasn't manipulated. I didn't go, oh, do you know? I would say, oh, let me see here. I would pull up my list. Let me see here, because we have so many people, I can't remember all the names. I want them to hear that. We have so many people that from the U school that work here that, let me see, do you know? And I'll list 20 names. They might not know a single one, but social proof is happening. And what happens when I hit on someone they know? I always get, recruiters, what do you always get? When you say someone that they connect with or know or friends with, they always go, what do they say? Oh, they work here too? Riyadh Smith? Like Miss Fulton County? Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say, like, the receptionist, you guys do.
Yes, Rachel is a former VIP receptionist. Thank you.
On the board, we'd have, like, St. Thomas, U School, Cypress, and then we'd have, like, the faciest kids that work in our office, and we'd name drop them. And then, like, even if they didn't know them, that means everyone kind of knows who they are.
Okay.
They'd be like, oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
Face God. Eddie knows quotes.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Luke, by the way, just posted on the TLA page the document I'm referencing. You guys want to take 30 seconds? Take a look at it. Look on your phone. Mike, this is great stuff. I just put on pause to everyone take a look at this Drew Frank document. And so just take a quick look. Mike, you get my message?
Yep, I just looked at it.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Let me know when I can continue.
All right, everyone got it? Mike, you can continue.
All
You
right.
shall not pass. What movie? Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Or Fast and Furious. Just kidding.
Two Towers.
Go ahead, Mike, you're up. Two Towers, that's right.
Cool. Just I only have a couple more points. I know I know we're interrupting to get discussion, but at the same time, I feel like is the best way to learn and absorb this info, because remember, it's not just the first thing I said going into this message is I just don't want you to sit there and be like, okay, they told me to do this, that's why I do it. I really want you to absorb the whys behind why we cook the ham, if you will, right? So the whys behind it, so you understand why it works. So let's go through it. So rapport. Another key ingredient that I think is important under recruiting them, is explain to them why I'm meeting with you again when they're in person. So they're sitting across from the desk. It's like, hey, I just want to let you know I don't normally do this. Like, I don't normally do this. I don't normally sit down with somebody one-on-one. Maybe it's in a small group. So this would be like a small group of 5-star kids. This would be like the alley-oop, a rep driven, right kids, PR. Like this would be one-on-one, sitting down with them or someone, maybe it's a small group of 2 or 3 that you're like fired up about that you personally, had a connection with. Most of you will probably only doing one-on-ones as far as this goes, but maybe we change that in the future, but that's what I'm thinking. So I just say, I normally don't do this. Normally when someone expresses the interest in the position, this is the process that they usually go through. But what I'm doing with you is a little bit different today because ... I think that's an important point to make during the one-on-one interview process. Another point, in no particular order, but I think is important in the one-on-one interview process, a 5-star interview process, is sharing a simple vision or goal for your team. I like this because it explains why I'm actually looking to add more people to the team. There's a reason behind why we're recruiting right now. There's a reason behind. I think about Nick Saban. When he goes out and recruits and he's sitting across from the superstar high school athlete, it's pretty evident on why he's meeting with that superstar high school athlete. I mean, one of the best teams in the history of college football, if not the best, most winningest, whatever it might be. Well, they don't know us. They don't know our goals. They don't know our mission or vision. So I like to say something like this. You could take it however you'd like. Something along the lines of, so the reason I'm meeting with you is because you're the captain of the football team. Captains of football teams, they do well here. You have the work ethic. You demonstrated that. Your buddy wouldn't have told me to sit down with you if you didn't think you could kick butt. But here's what I'll tell you. What we're out to accomplish as an office, we want to hit $1 million this summer. We want to hit $100,000 this summer, whatever it is. And we feel like when we have really good talent, and we have synergy in our office, it makes it more feasible. What comes with our team hitting $1 million for the summer? Well, we're looking to have 15 managers that are promoted for next year that come out of that. From those 15 managers, those 15 will earn opportunities to do what is called Cutco through college, to pay their entire way through college working with our company. We're looking to open up a couple of career positions for some of those as well. And we feel that by adding the right people to our team now, it just makes it more feasible. So that's why I'm meeting with you. We have a lot of cool things going on in our local office, and I just want you to know, like, there's a purpose behind this. And especially right now with the summer, it's a busy season. We have all the summer holidays. We got Memorial Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, 4th of July coming up. It's real busy for us, and we just want to capitalize on that sales success, especially during this time of the year, when it's really busy. So that's why I'm meeting with you. That's why I'm running this interview. That's why I wanted to connect with you. So I appreciate your time ahead of time. I only want to spend a few minutes just giving you a rundown of what we have available. See if it's a good fit for both of us. If it is, I'll set you up for some training. If it's not, no sweat. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Cool? Cool. I established an agreement, and then I'll move forward. There's going to be a handout, and I just walk through that handout. It's so simple. You can just read the handout. And the handout says background about the company, background, it says cut penny. It's like a training penny. You cut the penny, show them the product line. It's like a 1.5 page sheet, and you just walk through that handout. That part's pretty simple. I do like to cut the penny. I do like to explain at the end of this interview and this recruiting process, the triple growth experience, the personal, professional, financial growth. I think that's important to do. I explain that through examples. What I mean by that is, just use 3 different people to explain it. So I'll give you a couple of, I'll just give you quick examples as far as that goes. So what we like in our business here at Johnny Rep is we like to provide the triple growth experience, personal, professional, financial growth. I'll give you a couple quick examples. Personal growth, we just like to teach people how to have self-confidence. One of my representatives that work here, Doris Kopic, she had one job she wanted to work for, so her entire time working in college was just to get interviewed and recruited to work at Ferguson, which is up in Boston where her sister lives. So the whole process of working here at Cutco and going through getting her degree was just develop enough confidence to not apply to work for that company, but to interview that company. So that way she could be a 5-star recruit and grow herself personally. And she got hired on the spot, $56,000 a year right out of college. So personal growth. Professional growth, we like to teach our representatives to be able to have a quantifiable experience here, build their resume and build their portfolio. So Mike Nisbet, graduate of Palm Harbor University High School, graduated at FSU with a 3.4 GPA. The GPA didn't get him his job at WellCare, $15 billion company. It was actually his quantifiable experience of being responsible for a couple hundred clients and having a portfolio of a couple thousand referrals that he generated here. And the interviewer was so impressed with his professionalism and his experience here that they put him in front of the CEO and bypassed him for the internship and hired him on as an analyst. And now he's a senior analyst after his first 12 months, making $78,000 a year, not because of his mommy, but because of his experience here. So the professional growth and financial growth, we like to help our reps get paid what they're worth. And a lot of society says most students are worth $9 or $10 an hour. Our representatives get paid what they're worth. So what they put in is what they get out. So overachievers really like that. So like, for example, we had Samantha Scribano this past summer. She was making $10 an hour at an ice cream shop, but she decided to work really hard here. She only worked for 5 days before she left for summer school. But in those 5 days, she was able to earn, she placed over $10,000. She had the first 4 pay raises in her first 5 days. So she earned over $2,000 in 5 days. So she paid herself almost $100 an hour. Now that's not the average, but that's an overachiever who paid herself what she's worth. IB, full ride scholarship, hard worker. So that's an example of the triple growth experience. And I just want you to know that's why our representatives really love working here. That's why your friend Will loves working here. That's probably why he recommended you as well, because he thought you might see value in this position. So
that's a slow clap. That's a good thing, Mike. Sorry, Mike said, what's that?
So let me kind of again come up for air. So what am I doing? I'm 3 examples to demonstrate, or 3 stories, if you will, to demonstrate what the triple growth experience could do, because people don't remember, or I guess I'll say it said differently, people will remember a story over just hearing a fact or just a statement. So if you can make it into a story, that's a good thing. And I don't like to talk about myself because I'm the authority. I'm supposed to be good at the job. I like to dish it to somebody else.
Yeah, we're coming up fair, Mike. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Other takeaways?
I only have 2. I have 2 more points, and then we're done. Then I'm done.
You want? Okay. Well, just come up fair on this one.
Yeah.
Mike, the question was, can Mike just go till 8? But here's what I think. What is the next level group would know this? What is that? Those are 3 examples. No, he's got 3 examples of people as he describes his triple threat growth experience. Triple breath. Professional, personal,
financial.
Okay. What is that called? What is he doing now? He's delivering a very calculated, intentional, repetitive, convicted, passionate what? What's that called? What's he doing? He is, but what is he? What is that when you're sitting one-on-one with someone and he's sharing? It's the same way. It's consistent every time. It's a stump speech. It's the same way when I talk about cut through college in 2019. Because in 2018 it's going to be epic, but in 2019 we're going to scale what? The division TLA program to help the company become best company ever. Best to achieve its $1 billion goal much faster. Okay? That's a stump speech. First years, if you're taking a note of this, it's the power of having a convicted stump speech. Because here's the cool thing: you ever heard? You never have to remember the details when you tell the truth. Yeah. You hear that? You never have to remember. It's really referring to lying. You never have to remember the details. You never have to remember the details if it's a real strong why. And a culture is a culture when people can finish what? Finish your sentences and finish. And I can almost give his triple growth. That's not my stump speech. I can almost give his because it's the same damn way every time. And I would imagine you use the same 3 stories. Second thing, I want to make a takeaway as well. Stories. One lesson I always teach you is that consistency is key. Now affects later. You don't remember that, but you remember Dr. Gamble's blood pressure story. Okay? Big 3. What's really important now so that you can make firm decisions, specifically so you can say no. You don't always remember that, but you know how Heidi and I got married, and then we said, no, we're only going to get married 3 ways. Circle. But the stories sell. What's the saying?
Facts tell, stories
Facts tell, stories tell. The English, not first line English yet, or English. What is it?
Facts.
Sorry, English not so good. Facts yell, stories fell. You know what I'm saying. When you have stories, it helps to sell and it enrolls people. Okay. Other takeaways before we come up for air, and we will have him finish his last 2 points. We're going to take a quick mini break, not the full break, and then wrap up our last 3 messages. Okay, Mike, continue. Finish up.
Cool. These are really quick. So I always like to give them an opportunity to ask me questions before I move forward. I know Jeff just mentioned before these other companies, MLMs, recruiting companies, they'll be like, so what do you think? Are you in? I took that approach for probably about 3 months, and I wasn't getting quite the results I wanted with recruiting. So I kind of more took like a lean back type of approach, hot tub approach, be like, so tell me, what questions do you have for me? Now that you heard everything that I just had to talk about, what questions do you have for me? I would say 8 out of 10 times they were saying, when is training? 8 out of 10 times they would say, when is training?
Okay, Mike, what was your response on that? Sorry, Pug, if you're about to get to that. When's training?
So my response to that is it's going to be Thursday and Friday this week. Are you available, or do you want to look at the schedule to see if there's a different time that works? Like, I scheduled Will. Will was like 2 weeks out. I wasn't desperate. I wasn't like, oh, we got to get you tomorrow. It was just a different feel. It's like, hey, I'd like to get you started as soon as possible. You've been training Thursday, Friday. Do you think you could open up your schedule and make that work? Or do you want to take a look at the schedule to see what else we have? No, I can start right away. Cool. Yeah, I'd love to get you started right away. And then sometimes I would even build up the training class. By the way, your friend Johnny's coming in to train this week. Do you want to train with your buddy this week? You know, so I've said that sometimes. The other 20% of the time, 8 out of 10 one's training, the other 20%, they might actually have a question. So it's like, just to clarify, I get my own people, is that how that works? Or just to clarify, you know, my friend said there's a virtual online appointment, or just to clarify, do I have to drive to the office every single day? Or I just want to kind of clarify, or, you know, it just might be a clarification type of question. And then I just answer it for them, pretty simple. But I always like to give the space for them to ask questions. And the way I phrase it, it's not like, do you have any questions for me? Because it's a yes or no. It's cool. So what questions do you have for me? Next level. And then finally, when I arrange a time for them to come into training, I like to, you know, we use the same acceptance sheet, same thing in the interview. But when I arrange the time, I do go off a little bit on the names list. Like, I want them to brainstorm some people that they're excited about doing appointments with. And I do that in a very nonchalant, very competitive-like way, depending on their personality. But I'll say, so the best thing to do is when you come in for training, in my professional opinion, is do exactly what your friend did. You know, your friend Will, he came into training and he had 50 names and numbers of all the different families that he could potentially do training appointments with. So for those 50 training appointments, he didn't call every one of them. He didn't do appointments with every one of them, but he was organized. Because on the first day when I taught him how to set up appointments, he was already organized. So it just makes it that much easier. So do you think you might be able to dedicate a little bit of time, kind of like your friend did, to come in prepared with this? Cool. Now, I don't know if you're competitive, but your friend Will got to 50. Are you competitive at all? Do you think you beat him, match him, or do you think you'll probably go a little bit lower? What do you think?
Oh, manhood. Manhood.
So this is how, I mean, I had Chelsea Hage came in. She came in with 50 names and numbers, and day 2 she had 100 because her friend Brad came in and he had numbers. And I think about, you know, all of the Shorecrest kids came in with phone numbers. They all had like 40, 50, 60, 100 phone numbers. And I kept leveraging it from each of them, just as a reminder. So just to kind of wind up before we take break and open up for any feedback or discussions. So there are 3 ingredients. How many ingredients? 3. There are 3 ingredients. So you got to get the names to call. You get the names to call. Go through social media. Go through your Facebook. Go through text messaging. Do it through PCs. Triple threats. Through the training class. Top 10 list. Get the names to call. Then call them. Even though it's not inherently enjoyable experience, when you actually care about the potential recruits you're going to be working with. You know, some of these kids that you're going to talk to are badasses, and you want to work with them, and they're just like customers. You know, you always love the homemaker at the end of the sale, but I like the phone call to kind of facilitate the process and really enjoy the process, not just the prize. So making sure that you call them, I'll say that again in case you didn't get that, enjoy the process, not the prize. That's one of the biggest keys to being successful from some of the books that I've read. Enjoy the process, not the prize. Unattach is another word. And just make the phone calls. Make the phone calls and enjoy the process. And lastly, when you're recruiting them, just be genuine, get to know them, connect with them, and have some intentions before you go into it. so that way you guys can perform at the highest level and recruit a great summer.
Mike,
So,
you mean to tell me there are times you didn't really feel like calling?
pretty much every time.
You mean you don't enjoy the process of, you didn't enjoy like making calls in the morning?
Oh, I enjoy it now.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like doing it, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's my sarcastic way of saying there are a lot of things. I don't want to take a flight to Tallahassee to be here when I'm leaving Heidi for the weekend. And I don't want to do it last time in Gainesville. But I really like what happens when I'm getting more live touches and connection with our TLA across Florida. I like that way better. I like that a lot. I don't like that the way it all worked out, it cost me $1,500 to be here this weekend because of homecoming for FAMU. I didn't know. I don't like that my flight tomorrow is at 6 on a Sunday. But I really like what happens because I'm here live and everyone gets exposed. I really like that way more than I dislike. And I think that's the point I'm trying to make with Mike. Making phone, like here, the red focus set 5, set 10, wherever it says that. It's not always fun, but I know people who did it, whether it was fun or not. Andrew did it. Luke did it. I can name a lot of other. Mike for sure did it, as you know. So cool. Any parting shots, Mr. Mike? We're gonna debrief in just a sec. Any parting shots?
No, that's it. I appreciate you inviting me to speak to the division. I love influencing.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, part of that 2019 vision is when we're teaching the grab philosophies and grab your future as a part of the TLA for the entire division, as well as translating that to the company by 2020. That's the focus for Grab Tomorrow, just so you guys know.
I'm in.
Me too.
I'll do that. Okay. So here's what I like to do. This is kind of a debrief. First years, respectfully, I have no interest in what you took from the talk. Next level, I have lots of interest in you finding a first year and saying this is what you need to have processed from that. So that's my nice way of saying first years, that's a lot of cool stuff. You don't understand the magnitude of what he just taught unless you've done it before. So next level, I'd like you to find a first year. Okay. And next level, by the way, if you can't find the first year, find another next level and share with the first year what you need to have taken. In my experience, what now I wish I knew from that talk, share that. If you're with another next level, just share normal. Cool. It is now 5:10. We will do 15 minutes, and this is also break. So I would stand up, stretch up as you debrief. It is now 5:11. What's 15 minutes from now? 5:11. 16. No. 26. 5:26. Thanks, everyone. David Delgado.